New Construction 101. I will speak to a number of principles generally about new construction, and I will also answer questions and discuss how Edge Homes does things particularly. A couple of things about me. I have been an Edge Homes agent now for over 6 years. I now have on over 400 sales actually. And I kind of have a mantra that this is your client's home, it's their dreams, and I make it my job to bring that about. So I love helping clients. I love seeing what people select. I love making sure that they have all the details that they need to run through the construction process. So a couple of things that we are going to discuss. I'm just going to look over or discuss the overall market, both in some general terms and some upcoming forward looking things. So secondly, we're going to discuss some of the things that are affecting the new construction space, labor, materials, land acquisition, things like that. We'll discuss a list of available builders, product types, sales processes, various policies that can affect and impact the process for your clients during a build, timelines, appraisal values we'll discuss, and then a little bit of the COVID, what I call the COVID crazy that we're all navigating. So the first thing that we're going to discuss, let's look at the market overview. And I know that this fluctuates and ebbs and flows from time to time, but generally speaking, here in 2021, we have sold fewer homes simply because we have had fewer listings. If you look at the bottom of this stat report from Utah Real Estate, you look at the number of listings, and it's insane what we're seeing. Active listings are very, very low, and it's just been crazy. So we are starting to see more people list. We hope that many more people will list in the spring, but the concern is if they list and they sell their home, where do they go? And the reason why that is a concern is because we are seeing just a mass influx of population into the state of Utah. And we are seeing a couple of magnets that are creating that. One is employment. Utah has grown by 30% almost in its employment workforce over the last decade. And then population growth, which is not just employment. I would say in the new construction space, we see people coming in not just for reasons of employment. Recently, we had an election year, and we've seen, and I have personally met a number of people who are fleeing their failed state, in their words, of X, fill in the blank. We see a lot of people migrating from California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada. I've seen Illinois, Michigan, New York, New Jersey, just tons and tons of people coming in for either better lifestyle or employment or safety or tax, whatever. There's just a number of people that are coming to Utah. It's a fantastic place to live, and it's no longer a secret. So what that has created is inventory and land shortage. We do have land shortage here in our market because if you take basically a 10,000 foot drone perspective, if you will, and hover over the Salt Lake Valley, you notice that we are landlocked in the east, we are lake locked to the north and the south. And so much of our growth has to push out past the Oakers and into the west, or out past Utah Lake into the Cedar Fort Valley, or south of Utah Lake into South Utah County and down into Nephi and even into Mona and areas like that. So that is what we are dealing with. And so we either have to grow horizontally, and at some point we will also have to grow vertically if our population demographics continue as they have been. So this just kind of describes that overview, the landlocked to the east, and in some cases landlocked even to the west. Like you can't go and build right into the Oakers or right here into Kennecott. So all of your growth has to come south or has to push massively into the Cedar Fort Valley or over and around the Oakers into Tooele, Stansbury, Tooele County sort of areas. So I would familiarize myself with those areas because you will have a lot of building going on in all of those places. Thirdly, price increases. You have seen just massive price increases over the last year in particular. This is all part of the COVID crazy, but what it has presented us with is, for instance, with labor, Utah has the Salt Lake Airport that just finished completion, and you have had so many tradesmen, drywallers, framers, plumbers, electricians that have been tasked with that project, and that created a massive labor shortage across the new construction space. For instance, we would have people that would pull up onto our job sites with a megaphone and offer 1.5 times their going rate if they would come and work on the Salt Lake Airport for a year and a half. And so they would literally recruit tradesmen off of our job sites. And so Edge had to navigate that and put in place contracts wherein, like, the owners of a company would understand the challenge that Edge was running into, and they would try and keep all of their guys on site. But if 4 members of an 8-man crew decide to walk off the job site to get overtime or 1.5 times their going rate, well, they have the right to do that. And so we have had to navigate those labor shortages. Additionally, it's anticipated that the largest economic development in the state of Utah, namely the inland port, will ultimately get through the legislature, and that will be even a larger project than the Salt Lake Airport, and so that will add to those considerations as it relates to labor shortages. Okay. Also, we have got the land increases. So a lot of people talk about what is causing these skyrocketing costs for, we now have condos at $350K at Edge Homes. We have townhomes at 4.25 and higher. We have townhomes, if you finish a basement and bling it out, that you could reach to $500,000. You have single family that is very, very hard to find, even in the 400s to start. If you want a 1/4 acre with a 3-car garage, and a nice big Rambler estate lot, I mean, good heavens, Eagle Mountain City Center is no longer a viable option for under $500K. Actually, $500 to $600K. So what is causing all of this? One of the biggest issues is material costs. So you look at lumber, and these are out of date by a few months. We have seen 180% increase since last spring in lumber alone. So translation, on a 2,800 to 3,000 square foot home, that ranges a price increase of in between 16 and 25K. If you're framing a 5,000 or 5,500 square foot home, you're running into, just framing costs alone would increase the price of that home by $50,000. That's just lumber. We're not even talking about OSB, which is your joists and things like that, joists and glued plywood and things like that. Those have also skyrocketed. Drywall, fixtures, appliances, flooring, all of it has seen just massive increases. Furthermore, the demand for land, people say, oh, Edges, for instance, when we release a building for sale, I'll give you the most recent example. Yesterday, we released a condo building for sale in a brand new Lehigh community. And it is just east of Maverick on the south side of 2100 North. We released our first condo building, first of 20 in that community, and we received 34 offers to purchase in a day. And our purchase prices already there are in between 340 and 362,000 base price for a condo. And so people ask, you know, in addition to materials, why are the prices going up? Well, one of the other reasons is land acquisition. And I pose the question to anybody who thinks that a builder is price gouging just because they can. Well, the challenge that presents for builders is if land costs are 2.5 to 3 times the amount that they were 3 years ago or 2 years ago, and we don't increase our prices, we have no ability to replace what we're selling. The candle, if you will, would burn out, and no builder would be able to replace or to continue building. If they don't increase their prices, they can't procure more ground. And so that's another challenge that has been faced by the new construction industry. So next, as we look across the valley, there are a lot of options for builders. The challenge we have run into is that combined, all builders in the state of Utah have accomplished nothing more than to fall behind by an estimated 50,000 residential units in the last 10 years. 50,000 residential units. That's one of the reasons why you see municipalities adding accessory dwelling units and things like that, just beginning to lighten restrictions on those, or allow them and formalize them in city code. The reason being is because people are already doing it and they have to do it. They absolutely need to find housing. We are in a shortage. This list, I don't know if you can see that real well, but Edge Homes for some time has been the largest builder in the state of Utah for about the last 4+ years, I believe. Ivory does quite a bit of single family homes. D.R. Horton does quite a bit, Richmond American and others. But Edge, about 3.5 years ago, really vaulted to the top of this when we added to our single family, we added condo and townhome product en masse. And that has just been an amazing boom because people need those price points in between. You know, it used to be 250 and 400,000, and now it's 350 and 550 for multifamily. So there are tons of available builders all over the valley, and many do a great job and have differing policies, but we'll speak about policies in general. Product types, we are seeing increased density, and we will see more increased density. The days of a builder getting ground and offering 4 lots to the acre, so 1/4 acre lots, those are going fast and furious, and you're now seeing 14 to 20 units per acre. 14 units would be townhomes, 20+ units would be 20 to 40 units would be condos. And so those are sort of the shifts that we're seeing. Edge Homes offers condos, multiple floor plans there, multiple floor plans and designs with our townhomes, and then tons of single family plans, dozens of single family plans that are very, very popular and are known for things like natural light, huge windows, energy efficiency, very nice standard features, quality of construction, those sort of things. So when you go under contract with a builder, there's a number of approaches that they can use. In a sales process, you've got D.R. Horton, for instance, has migrated towards a spec approach where they build the home, they option and outfit it, and then buyers can choose to buy it once it's complete. So they have a waiting list, and they'll populate that with interested buyers, and then when the home is complete, they'll approach the next buyer in line, and if they want it, great. If they don't, it's no and next, and move on. There are other builders, Edge Homes among them, that allows for a multiple offer situation. And what that looks like is, for Edge Homes, every week on a Tuesday, Edge will release multifamily product, condos and townhomes, and they will allow any interested buyers to offer on those units, and they will put a cutoff of, if they're released on a Tuesday, they will cut off and not allow any intent to contract forms to come in after Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And then they will announce winners on a Thursday. You would repeat that process, but just move it up a day for single family releases. So we would release single family lots on a Wednesday, allow for intent to contract forms before 5 o'clock on a Thursday, and then announce the winners on a Friday. One of the things that we have introduced in recent years is that once a buyer knows how many offers they are competing against for a particular building or community or lot, they have the ability to adjust their offer one time only, in between the cutoff date at 5 o'clock and the following morning at 11 a.m. And the benefit of that is, people don't have to just guess in the open air, not knowing what they're competing against. They are able to adjust once they kind of know the temperature of the water that they're swimming in, if you will. And then there are other buyers that will literally just take the very first offer. And so there's a lot of varieties of how homes are offered by new construction builders. So I would become familiar with them and with their policies. Speaking of policies, what are the deposit policies? What is a build cost approach or a build cost model? Are there builders that allow for architectural design and customization and things like that? So I want to discuss each of those. I will speak about Edge. Edge has a number of communities that allow for what is called ADP, or architectural design process. That allows for people, there's a question in the chat, let me just address this. I have not yet gotten this course certified by the Utah Board of Realtors for CE, so this is not CE. Nevertheless, I feel like it's of tremendous value for you, and I hope that I can provide some valuable information. So if you think that this course should be accredited, let me know, and I will go through the process of doing that. So the Edge Homes experience is, there are certain communities that allow for architectural design process, meaning that you can start with one of our floor plans and then you can tweak that. You could change, let's say you had a loft with 2 bedrooms and a full bath. You could convert that to 1 bedroom and a full bath and then a huge loft, or you could add walk-in closets to the 2 upstairs bedrooms, or you could expand the bathroom to create a Jack and Jill, or you could do just quite a few different things. You can do covered decks. You can do extensions to the side or the rear of the house. You can change the location of a basement exit. You can customize, closets and expand pantries and do so many different things. To do that with Edge Homes, that's a $3,000 fee to sit with the architect and to make those tweaks and changes. And additional deposits are required for the changes that you make. And they're generally priced out on a per square foot option, et cetera. So, a covered deck would be X amount. Extending the side of the garage would be a cost per linear foot, or extending the rear of the third car garage would be a cost per linear foot. Those sorts of options are available to buyers with Edge Homes. I know that a number of other builders, as we've discussed, have gone into the spec model, so no such adjustment is available. I have spoken with agents from other builders that have generally said, yes, there's limited customization, maybe a 2-foot pop out to any one wall in one direction, that sort of thing. And so again, you'd have to familiarize yourself with those builders and their policies and the availability for that architectural design. Edge Homes also has a 13-point quality checklist that you can see the kind of the bullet points there. And I have come to absolutely trust that the Edge Homes construction team will deliver the product at the end of the day every time. We had a regional construction manager that I loved his mantra. His email signature said, "Every room, every home, every day." And I think that's a good mantra to make sure that you stay on top of quality control. Again, a lot of solid builders here in Utah, and when or if you run into those sorts of quality control challenges, you cross that bridge when you get to it, and most builders are reasonable in bringing it up to proper standards. Plus, Utah is fantastic in that every city requires that the builders build to code, and they send out city inspectors in order to even issue a certificate of occupancy. And so there's a number of layers of quality control and protection for buyers so that they're not buying just a heap of junk. So, all right. One other thing on this deposit. Actually, a couple more things on this. Be aware that a number of builders have moved to a build cost approach or a build cost model. What that means is your buyer can go under contract at a certain price. So let's say they go under contract at $350,000, but over the intervening 6 months, prices for lumber and other things continue to skyrocket, such that the builder's direct costs are increasing. Well, in a build cost model, the builder will renegotiate the contract, generally at some stage like framing or four-way, and they will say, my direct costs have increased by X amount. If you would like to stay under contract, you can, but just know that your contract now is, your price is now $17,000 higher based on our estimation of those added costs. And so that is not, I underscore, that is not necessarily deception on the part of the builders. It is simply a different way of doing business, and you need to be aware of whether or not that build cost approach is in the contract. So I think a lot of times agents have gotten kind of casual about reviewing builder contracts and things like that. They just figure, oh, it's the same as everybody else. They are not. We are starting to see a variation across builders of some of these policies. With Edge Homes, that build cost approach does not apply. If a buyer goes under contract, they lock in not only their purchase price, but the cost of their upgrade options. And so both of those are locked in our system when a contract is accepted. It's considered a trigger event, and it just kind of cements their options pricing and the contract price as well. But you need to be aware of that build cost approach because it is becoming more common. Secondly is deposit policies. Every builder is different on deposits. Some will require a massive amount up front because they do not want to absorb 100% of the risk, throughout a build and end up with a $750,000 spec home at the end of the day because they don't have high enough deposits. With Edge, we kind of take an incremental approach. We climb a ladder rung by rung next to each other. And, you know, as we progress in the construction process, you would first have earnest money. Then a couple of weeks after contract, you would have your initial construction deposit due. Then at the design studio, you would select your options. And once you finalize in the design studio, you would have your options deposit due. The thought process with Edge is simply the more custom the home is to your needs and your tastes, the more skin in the game that we want from you, so as to secure our interest in the property and ensure that you don't walk away, or that if you do walk away, there are consequences that help to offset Edge's need to remarket the property and things like that. So those deposits are different based on the different product types. Condos, very low earnest money, very low deposits. Hence why you see a little bit more volatility from time to time in the condo market. Townhomes, you will have deposit policies basically designed to prevent people from building a castle in the kingdom, a castle in the neighborhood where you've got 90 different townhomes. You don't want to have somebody put 80 grand in upgrades. And because would be a challenge to sell if that one came back to market. So deposit policies with Edge are incremental, a little bit at a time based on how far people proceed into the build process. And I can send you details on each one of those product types as needed. Okay, it looks like we're about halfway through. Timelines and appraisal values. Build timelines. Edge Homes states that we have in our contract states that we have up to 2 years to build your home. Now, do we hit that, or have we ever gotten even within shouting distance of that? No, never. Not in my 6 years. Generally speaking, we are in between 7 to 8 months right now on single family homes, a little bit longer if a buyer goes through ADP, a little bit longer if you have a community that is particularly susceptible to weather, or you have severe topographical considerations that require our land team to do massive retaining walls and things like that. So on average though, 7 to 8 months, on the long end, 8 to 10. Condos depends on the community that you're building at and at what stage you get in on a building. Right now, most everything would be complete estimated between Christmas and Valentine's Day right now. So we are literally writing contracts on these units well before they're constructed. So if you as an agent are driving out to communities and you're looking for sticks and bricks to see where the activity is, honestly, you're probably about a year late into the process. I would be looking at dirt. I would have an eye out for anywhere you see caterpillars or just cats, big excavation, grading, anything like that. Look at raw dirt and inquire at that point. And even then you're probably months behind, but definitely move your thinking from sticks and bricks to land acquisition. So now appraisal values. We have seen lately, obviously in the resale market, you guys have seen it where you have to waive appraisal contingencies and your buyers have to, offer 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, 100K over asking price in order to procure the property. Well, since appraisals are typically a lagging indicator, they're just not going to appraise. An appraiser can check a box and say, hey, we're in an appreciating market, and they can try and make the case, but generally appraisals will lag a little bit behind actual market closings and things like that. So one of the benefits of new construction is that a buyer can go under contract, and particularly with Edge, a buyer can go under contract, lock in their purchase price, and over the intervening, 7 to 10 months, hopefully the market is making up the lion's share of that negative equity, if you will, because even in new construction, buyers are having to offer well over asking price despite our price increases. We have increased prices steadily, and in sometimes we've had to take big chunks just because the offers are overwhelming. I'll give you an example. We released 20 townhomes for sale just a few weeks ago, and within a day had 156 offers competing for 20 townhomes across 4 communities. And every release is different. Sometimes I see 1 to 2 times the number of offers. Sometimes I see just about the right amount of offers. And sometimes I see a psychotic number of offers. And in those cases, when we see just massive offers on townhomes, well, the market is telling us that the demand is such that we are not at the proper price. If we're not getting pushback, we're not at the proper price. And so we are not trying to explode onto the scene as far as pricing, but we are trying to react to what the market is telling us and what the demand is indicating to us. And that's what informs our price increases. Now, new construction, you have an advantage in that hopefully you can get at or close to appraised value by the time you close. Edge Homes cannot, will not, does not guarantee an appraised value. We have no way of doing that, nor would any other builder, I think, enter into that sort of restriction. So bear in mind that the days when somebody could purchase a unit and end up with 40, 50, 60, or 70K of equity by the time they closed, well, now you may be closer to either small positive equity or an accurate appraised value, or maybe even some negative equity. So you need to be sensitive to that and make sure that your buyers are aware in this process as we go through it. So timelines, generally the timelines are broken up by 2 processes: the design process and then the build process. The design process, you want to encourage your buyers to get finalized with the design studio as soon as possible, because when we get permits back from the city, our dig calendar, our dig dates are aligned with how quickly the buyer finalized in the design studio. So we may get a permit back for one buyer, a week or 2 in advance, but the buyer who finalized in the design studio first is the one who will dig and begin construction first. So once the build schedule is under Edge Homes' control, we are generally, I think, one of the best builders in the valley as far as staying on track and staying on schedule. I personally had my home built last year in the middle of COVID, and our schedule moved about 3 weeks was the max from dig to closing. And that was just due to materials shortages. So our build schedule for single family is 130 days from dig to close. On townhomes, it's 160 days, and on condos, it's 240 days. And very often we outperform all of those timeline dates. So we try to underpromise and overdeliver. But bear in mind, with COVID, anything is possible, and we have seen things that we never thought were possible. So let's talk about the COVID crazy, and then I'd like to open it up to questions and answers and things like that. The COVID crazy is basically what I refer to as volatility in our supply chain. So for instance, my own home that I built with Edge Homes, I literally just got my garage doors a month ago, and we had lived in this house since October. prior to getting our actual garage doors. Furthermore, we ordered a fridge from RC Willey on Labor Day, and it arrived 2 weeks ago. And we were actually told that it would not arrive until mid-May. And so there are just crazy things, electrical fixtures, plumbing fixtures, lumber, and it's everywhere. It has affected fixtures coming from China, lumber coming from Canada, or materials coming from Mexico. Brazil has been massively impacted, and just tons of things that cause our supply chain to do this instead of, minor fluctuations. There is quite a bit of volatility. And so we appreciate your patience. We appreciate your cooperation and helping your clients to understand that Edge Homes is not trying to delay the construction of their home. To the contrary, we probably want to build it and close on it quicker than they do, since we carry direct costs on those lots and those homes every single day. But the COVID crazy has affected everything from municipalities as it relates to build permits, to the labor. If you have 2 members of an excavation crew that get COVID, they have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and that just racks and stacks like a conveyor belt at a factory, and it just can clog up everything. So selling homes is not the problem that Edge Homes or any other builder has at this point. Building them is. And so just be sensitive to that, and we appreciate in advance your cooperation, your advocacy on behalf of your clients, or on behalf of us to your clients, just to help us all navigate what are unprecedented and unique and challenging times. Couple final thoughts. People don't realize in 2008, Edge Homes started, and we built 2 homes in 2008. Last year, we built 1,850 homes. That sort of meteoric growth is just almost unheard of anywhere in the industry. Anywhere across the country, new construction does not generally grow like that. We realize that not just the fact that, we're the largest builder, that we offer multiple product types, we have communities in prime A locations, quick move-in homes. That dozen quick move-in homes is outright lie. We have no quick move-in homes right now, and if we get a cancellation, there's generally multiple offers within a day. The price point is pretty accurate right now. The custom architectural design process we have lower barrier to entry. We have flexible option selections. Let me just touch on that for a second. A number of builders will offer what they call packages, a bronze, a silver, a gold, a platinum, those sorts of things. Think of it as like a cable package. You get, the basic, and then you get sports and news, and then you get movies and or multilingual things like that. And a lot of times you have to purchase a package, and you end up getting, say 49 channels, of which you want 3 of them. So that's not all bad, because it just depends on what's in the package. A lot of times builders will make nice options packages. And though you may not want a handful of items in there, the majority of the stuff in the package you do want. So just a different way of doing business. As far as Edge Homes is concerned, Edge Homes does a la carte. So you can choose any option that you do or don't want, customize it to your tastes. And so we do a la carte rather than the package option selection. So, and there are pros and cons to both methods, and your clients just get to decide which one would work best for them. Couple of tools and tips that Edge Homes has: interactive community site maps, interactive floor plans, quick move-in and build lot reports, what's called a lot fit tool. Our design studio just won top 5 design studio in the country. We have design studio preview tours every Tuesday, well, open houses every Tuesday, and your buyers actually have to go to a preview tour where they can touch and feel samples and kind of have space to make decisions together as a couple or whomever prior to their option selections appointment. We have an idea gallery of things that buyers have done over the years that we constantly update and add to on our website. Here's a sample of an interactive site map. If you go to edgehomes.com and click on communities, every one of our communities will have one of these site maps. If you look at the legend in the bottom right, you will see if it's light green, it is available. If it's blue, the sale is pending. If it's gray, it's a quick move-in home. If it's orange, it's sold. Now, to be clear, the map you are looking at right now is about a year and a half old, so definitely not accurate, but you'll see in there, a lot of quick move-in homes in the gray, a lot of available lots, multiple offers on a blue lot, and you'll even see on the condo buildings, the orange dots and a smattering of light green dots or blue dots and things like that. So it shows you which side of the building the unit is on and which floor the unit is on. So very, very effective to help you get a feel for what is actually available. And these maps are updated twice a day, Monday through Friday. Interactive floor plans is something that I absolutely love about Edge Homes. You can go to Edge Homes, click on our floor plans, and on any floor plan, there's a button that says personalize this plan. If you click on that, it brings up this little applet where people can see what it looks like with a breakfast nook pop out, or a den instead of just an open space, or the 3-car garage, or the 3-car garage with a 2-foot front car extension, or the utility door there on the side of the garage that you can see that. You can also drag furniture into the plan, or a car. If you know the measurements, the dimensions of your car, you can drag it in and you can adjust those dimensions and see if it will fit or if you would need a 2-foot front garage extension. Nothing is worse than buyers buying a house only to discover that their truck does not fit in the garage. And I know we've all run into it. And so this is one of the ways that you can help your clients make informed decisions so that they never run into that situation. These reports I maintain, well, Edge maintains them, and I update the report in the materials that I provide to you. I update this report multiple times a week, and I send you links to information packets and to these reports where if you're clicking on that, you have the most up-to-date information. I can send you available lot reports. I send these out in community information packets showing you what's currently available. This is huge because this saves you hours. Instead of going to the MLS and looking at Edge Realty and calling 17 Edge Homes agents, just call me and ask me, what do you have in available lots? What do you have in available quick move-ins? And I will send you out the links to all the materials that I maintain behind the scenes as a service to you. This is one of the areas where I, as an Edge Homes agent, absolutely excel, and that is providing you up-to-date information so that you can have that at your fingertips. And I can save you hours upon hours on the MLS. One other thing, when you look at the MLS on Edge Realty, please know that the listings there, the listing agent is randomly assigned. None of us have control over that. So you're not stepping on toes. You can just call me for any listing at any stage. And I am your Presidio go-to Edge Homes agent and would love to help you any way I can. Lot fit tools. This is another fantastic benefit of Edge Homes. I'm sure that many of you have said, hey, can we fit this home of interest on this lot in your community? So for instance, you go to a Richmond or you go to an Ivory and you say, can we fit X floor plan on X lot? and you're often told, I'll talk to the architect or my land team, I'll get a rendering, and I'll see if we can fit that. And weeks go by, they get busy, you get busy, stuff slips through the cracks, price increases happen. With Edge, we can in 30 seconds drag the footprint of any of our floor plans on any of our lots, give you dimensions, show you if it will fit or won't fit, what the orientation of the garage will be on the left side or the right, how much room they'd have to build a deck in the back, what size their backyard will be, all of those sorts of things. And so you see in this bottom panel, we have this kind of measuring tool. And then here is just the footprint of the home. And the light green here is the third car garage footprint. And then you've got your city setback lines, both the garage and the living space setback, your side setbacks, your rear deck setback. And so you can give your buyers, we can give your buyers a fantastic overview of how their lot will be situated and whether or not the floor plan they're considering would fit. And so that is just a tremendous benefit so that buyers can quickly make informed decisions. Here's one picture of just a small portion of our design studio. That is at our Draper Edge Homes headquarters, 13702 South, 200 West in Draper, just off of I-15 and Bangerter Highway. And so we have open houses there every Tuesday evening from 5 until 7. And then we have preview tours for your buyers that they can schedule with their designer once they are under contract. The benefit of that design studio is that we are trying to avoid this sort of thing for every house in the community. Now, this is certainly not an ugly house, but if you have 100 homes in a community that are all identical, just garage left, garage right, garage left, garage right, it's not a neighborhood you'd want to come home drunk to. You'd try your key in every door. So Edge is trying to stay cutting edge to produce things like this. And I actually haven't even updated this slide in a good while. There are so many design options. Here's one. Edge has now added a Scandinavian elevation to a number of our plans, and this would differ obviously based on the plan. But that is another cutting edge thing that Edge is adding to go above and beyond, the prairie elevations, the modern contemporary, the board and batten, the shakes, the decorative corbels, things of that nature. Okay, let's talk about commission. There is no standard commission in the state of Utah. Builders are allowed to set their commission, their compensation, however they wish. And I'm sure you are familiar with the commission and compensation methods of many. Some will pay a 3%, some will pay a 3%, but not on the lot. Some will pay, a 1 or a 2%, or certain seasons are more incentivized than others and things like that. Edge Homes, we pay a 3% commission. We pay that on everything. That includes the lot, it includes the base price, plus their upgrade options that they select in the design studio. If they offer $50K over to get the house, you get a 3% commission on that. All seasons, all times, all product types, condos, townhomes, single family homes. I cannot think of a better reason to work with Edge Homes than the fact that we appreciate you. We know that we don't go from 2 sales to 1,850 sales without the assistance of buyer's agents. Over 80% of our transactions are represented, co-brokered by a buyer's agent. And so we thank you. And I personally thank you, and I ask you for the opportunity to work with you and your clients. I am dependent on your phone calls, on your loyalty, on your willingness to work with me and help me help your clients. I promise to do an exceptional job, and hopefully we can get to 2,000 plus homes in 2021. And I hope that you will consider Edge Homes when your buyers are looking to build or buy. And I hope that this information has been helpful for you and that you will reach out to me ongoing as a resource to help your clients find a home. That's all I've got.
Do you have your phone number and all that, like a business or something card besides, so we don't have to look it up? We can just download it.
Right. There's that. And
Perfect.
then I will put this in the chat. And also, if anybody would like to be added to my regular email, I send it out every month or so. I frankly think I need to start sending it out weekly to update you guys on releases. But if you would like to be added to that email, I will be happy to do that. The email that I send out is called The Competitive Edge. Let's see what I did there. Anyway, so reach out to me anytime. I am happy to help, and I am prepared and able to take on the additional business. So hope that answers the question. Does anybody else have any questions? Or
So it's competitiveedge.com, correct?
No. That's the name of my email. The name of my email is called The Competitive Edge. If you want to receive that email, just email or text me and just mention your name and that you'd like to be added.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You did an awesome job.
Thank you so much. The website is edgehomes.com. So if you want to go there, you can look up all of those tools and resources that I shared with you.
Now, do you need anybody? I'm a broker out in Crossroads Realty, done it 32 years. Closing ratio is 99%.
Awesome.
So I'm very thorough. I'm just wondering, do you need anybody to sit in any of those homes, any agents, or you do not?
We do not.
Okay, just that I had to ask, make sure.
No worries. Sorry, you guys are all seeing my screen. I probably should stop sharing that.
It's okay. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate you hopping on last minute to teach this class. We had a bit of a mix up, but I appreciate you.
I frankly had it slated in my mind. I mentally checked a box that I was going to be doing this next week. So I am so grateful that you hopped on, but I am prepared and I hope that it was useful. So
good. Yeah, I thought you did a good job. Thank you.
Let's go sell some real estate, guys. There's tons of opportunities, and reach out to me and I can give you additional resources and give you a competitive edge. I can give you a month's lead time on what's coming so that you can prepare your clients, get them pre-qualified, and they don't have to make decisions in 42 minutes. They can instead take an evening or take a week and do due diligence so that they go forward in earnest and stay under contract